Back with another live stream. I'm going to work on my Firefox a bit. Let me check my audio and everything. Make sure I'm not talking for nothing. Okay. What I'm going to do is my system. Let's get on the desktop and I'll just show and tell. Okay, so I've got first off I'll show what I have here. Okay, I need to back these up, and so let's get that started. First I'll show my version. My version of Firefox is 66.0.4, and that's old now. I knew I was behind, but I didn't know that. I knew I'm running Fedora 28, and Fedora 31 came out recently, so I thought, I'm getting pretty behind here. Once I get my system set up, I don't like to have to start over, and redo it, and so I just always put it off. But as long as I'm getting updates to my applications, Firefox especially, still be safe, online. That's the number one thing. To me, I think the number one thing is your web browser and of course your email. I use Thunderbird email, but I don't click. One thing I don't do is ever click on links in email without at least if I ever do click on them, it's after I've checked them out, and the best I feel sure that they're not redirects or any going to malware or anything like that. But most of the time I just don't click on them. And it's harder and harder to check now because all the companies use these redirects, and you don't know where the link's actually really going to end up until after you click on it anymore. Used to, you could just hover over the link. You can't do it. Well, you can do it in here if there were links on the page. But if you hover over a link, you'll see it down at the bottom left, either in email programs or on the web browser. But you don't know if they're being redirected. So anyway, and that's why I use VT. In my web browser, it says VT for browsers. It's called VTZilla. You can manually scan links, or you automatically scan anything you download, and all that kind of stuff. So I use that. Even though I'm running Linux, and Fedora Linux has SE Linux, Security Linux, so it automatically shuts down anything that it doesn't think the system should be happening in the system. And I've hardly ever seen it shut down anything. It works really well now. It doesn't shut down good processes, hardly ever. Used to, it was kind of a pain years ago, back in 2005 when I first got into Linux, and for several years there. But now, last, I don't know, 5 years or so, it hasn't really given me hardly any trouble. And so anyway, aggravation, Anyway, you used to set it. What I used to have to do to really get by was to set it in. You run the command in the terminal set enforce 0, and it will set it to permissive mode. But haven't had to do that for years. So, and that's good because it's really that's your real time malware stopper. Better. It's really, I think it works better. I mean, I've read about how it works, and I've read about Windows, virus software that was going this direction is basically how SE Linux works. Of course, they never mentioned that because they weren't talking about Linux, but that's how it does. It doesn't depend on virus definitions or any kind of thing like that. It knows what your system should and shouldn't be doing, and if it tries to do something it shouldn't, it just stops it, and then it puts you up a notice, and you can tell it, if you decide you want it to do that, then you can run some commands that tells you what commands to run and let it do it. But a lot of times it tries to do things that I'm not quite sure whether that's good or bad, so I just let it keep blocking it. I don't think it's something really bad. I can tell it's not like malware, but anyway, for going on and on about all that, let me get to what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so see, I have an old version of Fedora now, and let me see. I'll see if I can show the exact. I think this. I like case Sysguard, that's what I keep running all the time, but also this one's good, Kde System Monitor, because the first tab on it shows you your system name, your exact version you're running, your kernel, your RAM, your processor, and how much disk space. So, and then you can go over here and look at the processes. Only thing is you can't search, but in the process list, and it has another tab with your drives and stuff in it. That's pretty cool. But the one that I use and just keep open all the time, like if Firefox Firefox starts slowing down, not working right, for instance, that happens quite often. I go over here and search for Firefox, click on Firefox, and I can end the process. And I can also see everything else that's attached to it. It'll save you from your system locking up on you. If you notice your system seems sluggish, get over here and look. And I keep it organized by the heaviest system user, CPU user, which is OBS right now, and then you can also, it's usually the top memory user is usually right along with the top CPU user. Sometimes it's not. And for instance, if Firefox went nuts like it does sometimes and start using up all the RAM, it might be down in the list as far as CPU, but the RAM, you'll look over there and see a huge number, like 3 gigabytes, and I've got 4 gig of RAM. It gets there, I got just about 20 seconds or 30 seconds to kill it before it locks the machine up. So, yeah, one of the the heaviest resource user of all applications I've ever used is a web browser. I don't care which one. That's Chromium I have. I don't use Chrome anymore. I use Chromium. That's the granddaddy of Chrome. That's what Chrome is built on. And actually, it was pretty light. Not as lightweight as Firefox, but it was much lighter than Chrome until I added all my Chrome bookmarks and stuff in there. And then it went back to being not as bad as Chrome, but still way more than Firefox. So, and I just don't like the way it works and the way it's laid out. And I've been using Firefox since it came out. I went from Internet Explorer to Firefox back in Windows 98 or XP, one or the other. And I use Netscape. That's what Firefox was forked off of Netscape when Netscape discontinued. So I used to use that quite a bit. And it was a good browser. I liked it a lot too. But you always had to have at least 2 browsers because one thing wouldn't work in one, and one page would work in one and not in the other, or little sections of the page. But anyway, first thing what I'm going to do is refresh Firefox first. Get all the. That's a good idea to do that, but I always put it off because you need to back up your. From what I remember, it tells you you're gonna lose all your bookmarks, and so back them up first. And I'll just go ahead and do that. I'm going to export them as an HTML because that's the easiest way to get them back in there. If you use that one there, it does a JSON file and it replaces everything that's in here now. But if you export an HTML and then import an HTML, say you wanted to do it on another machine, then it won't replace everything in your bookmarks. It'll just add that to it. So I always just use the HTML. And I have a folder that I keep them in. Let's see. Firefox bookmarks. If I do that, then all I got to do is change the date. I think it's 27. Yep, 27, 19. Now then, I'll have that. And it takes a bit to finish. And what I do is before I move on, I'll get over here in my folder. And I'll watch it. See, you can see the file growing here in Crusader. This is one of the many reasons why I really like Crusader file browser. I'm going to get off of it so I don't accidentally delete it. If I navigate a lot with my keyboard, sometimes I hit the wrong thing. And there's I always like to kind of, if I'm not needing that side, then I'll keep an eye on my backup video to my backup video of my live stream. I always make a video while I'm streaming. Man, I'm getting worse and worse at the coughing. I may have to I guess I better get a cough drop now. I don't think it's going to get any better. I don't really cough a whole lot. I got really bad allergies and I'm always struggling with it, but I don't cough a whole lot unless I start talking. Then it goes to town. So let me if I can ever unwrap this thing. Okay, now, yeah, and I can kind of see, I think it's finished, but I'll wait a little bit. But see, that last one I did was 160. This is 172 megabytes, so it's bigger than the other one, and it seems to have quit moving. Sometimes it'll slow down for a bit and then pick back up, so you still wait a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh Firefox first to get all the extra Java crap and everything that builds up in your bookmarks. You wouldn't believe all the stuff that builds up in your bookmarks if you go find the folder and see what all's in there. If you ever have trouble with, like, you get those messages in Firefox saying some JavaScript is hanged up and it's messing up your browser, what do you want to do? And then it gets to where it happens all the time, like, because I didn't used to ever refresh mine because I didn't think I needed to, really. I'd see that little message once in a while, but I finally did a bunch of research and figured out, well, they were giving me some good advice. I didn't like it because I didn't like having to redo everything. And once I did it, first I right-clicked and sorted by name before I started the video, because that takes a while and uses quite a bit of resources. I was sitting there at Firefox at 20% of my CPU, and I wasn't running OBS then. I didn't want to. I knew it was going to do use quite a bit of resources, so I didn't start OBS. OBS is the streaming software I use, Open Broadcasting Studio. So, yeah, that hasn't changed, I don't think. I already forgot the number, but I know it was 170 something. I guess it was 172. So I'll have that. I'm going to clean Firefox now. This time I'm going to, I need those. It's hard to, it's hard to get to the right pages sometimes. If you just go to the Firefox website, well, let's go there anyway, because I need to, I could be telling myself, oh, well, let's see. There's a support page for Firefox. Let's just go there first. Oh, search support. Yeah, clean's not right there, so let's say, see if it comes up. It's only my Google searches, but not a Firefox page, so let's see if we can find it. We're probably going to have to do it that way. Oh, it might be in the, might be able to find it by going to the right section there. Might be in here in the edit preferences. And you can search this, and that's pretty cool if you hadn't noticed that. No. Well, let's go ahead and search here. It didn't come up. It's never easy to find when you want it. When you're not wanting to mess with it, it's everywhere. Pops up and asks you, do you want to clean Firefox and all that. See if it's anywhere in there. Yeah, that's something you can do. If you're having trouble with the add-ons, you can restart it with all your add-ons disabled and then like enable them manually one at a time over in the add-ons thing. Well, it's been a long time since I've done that, but used to. I know once you figure out where to find the page, it tells you where to go. You're like, well, why didn't I just remember that? web developer's a whole nother thing. Those are little tools you can use. If you build websites and stuff, it really helps you out. I use Firefox developer version for that because I just keep it set up like, you know, the way I need it for that. Plus, without a bunch of extra stuff in it, it's really lightweight. Sometimes actually when things, especially certain things on YouTube over the years have not worked in Firefox, and sometimes it like in my Firefox with all my add-ons, but then the developer version, it might work in there for me better than in Chrome because it won't overwork my system. This is only a quad core with 4 gig of RAM. Let's see. Try that again. Isn't that where I was already? Yeah. And that's something. Check my audio right quick. Make sure everything is okay. I didn't think about having a hard time finding it. It may be in my bookmarks and I just don't see it. What would be another word that might be the same thing as clean? Let's go ahead and organize them by where they're at. So it's not going to be in add-ons. Refresh. That's it. I had the wrong word. Refresh Firefox. And I also want to go to, I think I'll do it now. That's the support. I'm trying to get to the download page. Okay. I don't want to lose this page. Well, let's just go here. I think we just do that. I'm still going to do a search just to make sure that it might be. Well, there's download Firefox right there, Mozilla.org, and that's the main page US. Let's just go straight to US because sometimes it takes you to, you have to click around to find the US. First, I'm going to clean it, and then I'm going to download the newest version. I'm going to go ahead and download it, I think, now if I'll find it here. Download the newest version. Oh, I clicked on the link instead of... We have to go to the download page. It's probably going to be in English still. Let's see. Yeah, download. And it doesn't let you, like, go to... it detects what operating system you're using. Yeah, if you just click that one and it gives you, it did give me what I needed last time. But if you want to know, let's go ahead and see if it, we already got the browser. Get more from Firefox, just download the browser. Let's just close that. Now here we go. You clicked on that one that says advanced. And then you get options like Windows, but actually for Linux, there's only one option, Linux 64-bit. There used to be quite a few options for Linux. Like, I think they had a Debian version and a Fedora version, and there's 32 and 64-bit. Now that's all they're showing there. Oh, there's a Linux 32-bit right there. But I want 64-bit. That's what my operating system is. And that will work just like I want to do it. So, and there's the virus total, and you can say, okay, I just let it do it automatically, and it was scanning every little thing I downloaded, like a web page or whatever. I just wanted the web for the information. So I set it to ask you if you want to scan it or not. So I'll let it scan that file. If they're above a certain file size, it won't scan it. It'll get an error saying it's too big. But I don't know what that size is. I never bothered to. Well, if I knew it probably at one point, but I forgot. But so if it works, that'll be great. We can check that. And so let's look at the refresh. So what it says, May 2019, add-ons are disabled or fail to install. Please see add-on disabled or fail to install. Oh, yeah, I think you're going to lose your add-ons too. That's another. I see, but bookmarks are simple to put back in there. Add-ons can be a pain. If you're having problems with Firefox refreshing, it can help. I'm not going to try to read it all. Oh yeah, I probably have some of my syncing turned off, so I'm probably going to have to turn that on so that I don't have to put all that back in there. It can be involved if you don't get everything backed up before you do it. Yeah, here's the thing, tells you what you're going to lose. Firefox it will revert to its original state, its own configurations, your own configurations and customizations, including extensions, extension data, and about config. Preference configurations are removed. If you have made accessibility configurations, you may need to change them back after. Yeah, like things that I don't even remember where they are and how to get to them. But it's running so bad. It's okay. It's sluggish, but it's okay when all I'm doing is just, basically just using Firefox. But when I boot my machine up, I use Lucky Backup to back up all my data, to my USB backup drives. And that has gotten to where it's taken 20, 30, 40 minutes sometimes. If I'm making videos like this and I've got about, 10, 20 gigabytes of videos in this folder that are going to get backed up to my backup drives, when I go to them, I would do it right there, like that. That's why I'm pointing over there. And it can take, 45 minutes or something. And that whole time, I can't even, I try to watch, usually I'll be watching YouTube videos because it's actually, that's what I want to do mostly, I guess, but also it seems to, one thing, watching YouTube videos seems to tax the system less than many other things that I would be doing on here. So, until the last month or two, I can't even hardly watch a video. It keeps caching and everything. And first when it first started happening, I thought, oh my, my connection's jacking up or something. But it was just, I'd go over here and look at that's why I keep this open. I'd look at my system resources, and I, check the RAM and the CPU usage, and I was like, oh. And so here's a clue. Let's see. Well, none of them are like that right now. But if it's if it doesn't say a percent or kilobytes, it says zombie. That'll happen a lot with Firefox and lots of apps. And if it says that for a couple of minutes, then that can be what's making your system not run right. Instead of the, it's kind of hung up. The app is kind of hung up. Basically, like in Windows, a non-responsive app, And so anyway, with all those clues, you can figure out what it is. It's the offending application, and so it's Firefox. Okay, to refresh it, click this button directly if you are viewing this page in Firefox. Okay. This won't work if you're using a different browser, right? Or a mobile device. You can also refresh Firefox button at the top of Firefox. About Support, go to About Support, Troubleshooting Information page. Continue, click, Reset Firefox. Let's go there. That's been sent. Let's see if we can look at the scan. Yeah, there it is. Go to the report. Now that's a quick and easy way to find out if, I don't care where you get your file, you should always check it to make sure it's not. And this scans the file with it's varying each time you run it, but it's going to be between 60 and 75 different virus scanners. Depends on which ones I guess are online and working. Online virus scanners, and there are most of them are ones you may have heard of. Half of them anyway. And so I just really like this add-on. So if it's 0 detections of malware or adware, or pup, potentially unwanted software, that really only amounts to Windows. But when they install stuff alongside of what you're trying to install, So it's good. I'm not worried about that. It's already downloaded. Should be over here. Oh, I'm in my bookmarks folder. There it is right there. So now we're set for that. Now let's get to the close that. I don't have the download page in my Firefox folder, do I? Yeah, I just did this the other day on my mom's old machine, old new machine. I put an 8-core processor, 8 gig of RAM in it, and a motherboard that it'll run 8-core processors, but I guess rock motherboard that'll run 8-core processors, but it was actually older than the processor, and it runs fine, but certain things don't work, like the onboard Ethernet. Had to put an Ethernet card in it. We got 200 megabits download speeds, and that Ethernet card only does 100, and I don't like that, and some other things. So I went ahead and bought another motherboard, but I haven't rebuilt it again yet. So it's still in here, and I use it sometimes for different things, but I wouldn't put that in there. So my download's done. The refresh, I just want to see it. I mean, I can click that button. I'm in Firefox, like they said, but there we go. There it is. Refresh Firefox. That's what I remember doing. And no wonder I couldn't find it. Refresh Firefox. Okay. So, and it tells you everything about what version you're running and everything else in here. So, there's the addresses to all the other things about plugins and all that stuff. So, in my system, today I wanted to, I wanted to make a little video shortly after I booted up. So I did not let backup run because I didn't want to wait. I was going to, so I need to, damn it. How can I do that without taking forever? Yeah, Lucky Backup uses so much resources. But, well, it's even worse when I can use Crusader's sync mode, but that even takes more. Okay, well, I'll show you how I back up my system. Let's see. I think I can do it if I deselect some of the backup work. Let's see. I have made videos on here with, let's see. Yeah, to the 4.5 terabyte. But see, I'm making videos right now. Yeah, what I was thinking I might do is just do, oh, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I would only be able to deselect the one going from the 4.5 terabyte drive to the, well, I've got it written 2 different ways. It's, how they do with hard drives. It's labeled 5 terabyte, but it's only really 4.5 terabyte, and I wanted to tell myself how much space was really going in there. So, but this time I didn't 5 terabyte to 8 terabyte. Just confused myself. Anyway, I could deselect that one, and that would cut down half of the write time, but it would still be using a lot of resources for while I'm making my video, and since I already have made a couple of, it's not that big, but it would be backing up this video that's being in the process of being made. Then it might foul up the next time it tries to back up. Sometimes I thought Lucky Backup was perfect at if a file's already there, going ahead and overwriting it and finishing it out. But with videos, I have seen it not do that. I've seen it leave the, not overwrite the video that was already there with the full video, the partial video. I just thought of a reason why it might do that. I have it in my settings. I have it set on these. I always put skip older files. I mean, yeah, whichever way you're supposed to say it. What am I trying? I knew I was kind of tired, and I'm kind of confused tonight, so bear with me if you can. Anyway, I'm not going to go in. That's going to be too much of a sidetrack. Let's look in here. So features, extensions. Oh, I was fixing to go in there and do screenshots of all my extensions, but you know that's better. I'm just going to save this page, and then I can, if I have to go back in there and manually reinstall them, which I think I'm going to have to do. Well, I won't if I use Firefox Sync. I quit using it several. Oh, let's go through that a little slower. Well, before I do anything else and before I forget, let's save this. Save page as. I think it'll do that. Let's see, information. Oh, that's page HTML. That's going to be, I hope I can open that up with something that I have. I can open it up in Firefox. Always want to call it clean. Refresh, yeah. Okay. Now I'll let that save. Okay, so anyway, I did this on my mom's old machine, and so I thought, well, okay, I've got it in my head because I had to go around and around. I didn't really remember a lot of the things I had to do. Kind of thought I had to do it a different way than what I ended up doing. Like I didn't think about using the Firefox sync, and that's actually made it real easy once I realized, oh yeah, that's the way to do it. I was trying to once I got the new one in there, I was trying to copy the profile. I was going to copy the profile over into the right directory and then the correct directory, and then go in and edit the INI. I thought I was looking for a config file, but I think it's preferences INI or something. Just like just like Windows, it was named INI. Let's see if that's through. Yeah, I think that's through downloading. I'm going to leave it open because I think that's the way I'm going to do it instead of clicking on this button here. It should work just fine, but you never know. Sometimes the buttons, especially when you have like ad block and stuff on there, the buttons may not work right. So. There's also one in the safe mode. You go there, click the button. It will close after it refreshes itself. Okay. A window will report information. Okay. When it's finished, a window will list your imported information. Click Finish. Firefox will open. Okay. So some of it's going to bring back in. But not, let's see, what does it say? Yeah, your own configurations. I may not lose, you lose your add-ons. They call them extensions. May not lose my bookmarks, but I want to make sure because I don't want to lose those. I try to I never have found a real good way to, like I was saying, my backups do backup, my whole home directory, and I do have the JSON files, but they will completely replace. And usually when you notice you're missing something in your bookmarks, you don't want to replace what you got there because it's been a week, a month. One time that's what happened. I was using, I was depending on Firefox Sync, and it went nuts one time, and it deleted all of my bookmarks. And I had not backed them up manually in an HTML file in a month or two because I just kind of forgot, wasn't worried about it too much either. And so I lost, and I bookmark everything. That's how I find things again, And that's one reason I finally just realized I can't put all of my bookmarks back in Firefox when I get a new version, when I build a new system, because it instantly slows down my browser because I've got thousands and thousands of bookmarks. So I keep them in HTML files in that folder. Okay. Let's see. What will it do? Personal information. Create you a new profile. They will be removed. Your extensions and themes will be removed. Add-ons stored in other locations will not be removed or modified. Firefox will save these items. Okay, okay. I just haven't read this in so long. It saves bookmarks, download history, passwords, open tabs, cookies, things that you don't necessarily want. Well, you know, the cookies for the site you use all the time, it's a real pain when you got to go back and re-log into everything and get the cookies saved again and all that stuff. Autofill personal dictionary will be removed. Extension and themes, website permissions, modified preferences, added search engines. Yeah, it's all these little things here, just a pain in the butt. DOM storage, that's actually one thing you want removed. That's some of the things that can cause it to act buggy when you get a bunch of old crappy code in there. Security certificates, in the advanced and device settings. So those will have to, I mean, that's not a big deal except for the ones where you may have, like for me, my own, you know, if I go to my own website, it says this may not be saved. It's my own website on my own server, you know, here in my house. And so I have to say advanced, yes, let this work. And it's quite a few other things that I do on my own local network mostly. Download actions, toolbar customizations. Yeah, all this, I've got it laid out the way I want it. I have to redo that manually. Except for when you do sync settings, some of this stuff will be fixed by sync. So I'm going to do a sync before I do the refresh. User styles Chrome subfolder containing user Chrome and or user content CSS file. This is one I don't understand. I've never bothered to try to learn it, but why does it call it Chrome? I've seen that. There's just all kinds of things labeled Chrome in Firefox. I'm like, why do they not call it Chrome? Is it actually some code that's ran in Chrome, you know, that they got from the Chrome project? Or I think they'd get it from Chromium, though, the open source project, not from the Google Chrome, you know. So I don't know. I don't remember seeing that sentence before in there. Okay, note your old Firefox will be placed on your desktop in a folder named Old Firefox Data. If the refresh didn't fix your problem, you can restore some of the information not saved by copying the files to the new profile that was created. I don't think in Fedora, I don't think it goes to your desktop. I think it goes inside somewhere inside the Firefox folders. We'll see. If you don't need it, you should delete it. Contains sensitive information. Okay, I would back it up to my backup drive in case I need it. Find out I need it later. Okay, so there we go. This is what we want to do. I'm going to stop. I'm going to put it right there. That's what I'm going to do. And before I'll be using it here. What was this next thing? Okay, I'll get over here. Open up another tab. Go to Preferences, and I want to go to. Doesn't have sync on there. The new version has the last thing on the row is sync. Let's see. Take your web with you. Synchronize bookmarks, history, tabs. Evidently, this is it. Let's go up here because I know that sync is in there. Sign in to sync. I guess I'm not. I thought I was always signed in. I thought I left it signed in all the time. That's why I was going, Okay, let's see. Now, I don't know if it's going to. I got to enter my email and stuff. Okay, so I'll let you see my pretty little face. It's not all that little. It's not all that pretty, but here we go. I got to go get the information out. Let me get that out. Because I don't remember any of that. I haven't used that in a very long time. Don't really remember exactly where I have it. think I've found the right place to look. Now I gotta find it. Yeah, it's pretty involved, really. I mean, if you're used to doing it, you can do it way faster than I'm doing it. And if you have a good memory and you can remember your passwords and stuff, I don't fool with it. It's one of those things that I don't want to fool with unless I have to. That's why I thought, well, I bet a lot of people don't even have a clue how to do this. I've done it many times over the years. Not many, but several. I don't know. Enough times that I do remember when I'm having trouble that, oh, I probably need to refresh it, and then I put it off. So I thought they called it clean Firefox. That's what I was thinking. Kind of afraid I don't have it where I think I do. Oh, there it is. Almost the last one in the list here. Okay, let's see. Oh, glad I looked, because I thought, oh, I know what. I was thinking to myself, I probably used this email, but I didn't use this email. I used that email. Okay. Okay, so I'll put in the email, hit continue, and then I'll probably have to, and I'm just going to leave it. I can't type passwords without seeing them, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it as it is. Already forgot. Can't talk and type at the same time. You should know that. I clicked on that button to, be able to see the password. Oh, now I've got to go check my email. That means I got to open up another program. Okay, well, just going to open my email, and hopefully it comes in. The one that I use doesn't actually, I have several emails in the same. I use Thunderbird and have several email accounts in the same main window, the main setup. And one checks, it checks one every 3, like 3, 6, 9, 12 minutes. So, but I think I can, if it doesn't come right in, then I'll tell it to you. When you first open it up, I think it checks them all. Doesn't come right up, I can manually check specific accounts. So, and instead of showing you all of my emails and accounts and all that stuff, I think I'll just leave it like it is. There it is, right there, came right up. So, I don't know if sometimes you can copy and paste this stuff in there. And it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So. Some of these times they put no, you're not getting my mobile number, idiot. Oh, now here's something, let's see. Oh, it's automatically, let's hurry up and let you see this. I guess, I haven't turned on sync in a long time, evidently. It already started updating, and I think it installed an old reinstalled an old add-on that I don't have on here, but it must still be in my sync. So I was sitting there looking at this. So it installed Dr. Web Link Checker, this one I used to use. When Firefox went to the Quantum or whatever it's called version, Yeah, Quantum. I had to re-find almost all my add-ons. They didn't work anymore. But now it's installed. I guess I better put that in my Firefox add-ons folder so I'll know. That used to like that all right, but it was like, yeah, set up link checker. But there's BTZilla has a link checker in it. I don't really need another one. And it uses all those mini scanners. I used to use this screenshot tool. But I decided that, who are these people and how many people, if somebody hacks their site, all your screenshots can be seen by these people. They are because it's their software remotely, taking screenshots. So I thought, and I usually use my screenshots. I use them a lot for when I'm paying bills. I use them to keep a record. So I don't want them going out to the internet. So I quit using that. So that's going back. That will be gone as soon as I refresh it anyway. But I ain't putting it back in there either. So I suppose this will be different now. Let's see, I refreshed it. Where's that? Extensions. Yeah, now let's see, we got a bunch more. I think, yeah, Nimbus. I think I'll go ahead and save this just so I will, let's see. Let's see, let's put it up towards the front so I'll see it. $1127.19. Okay. Now, if you're saving web pages, always rename them to what you want them to be before you hit save, because you can't. It saves them as an HTML file and a folder full of files that goes with it to make the site, the page work. If you rename, used to you could get away with renaming them both and it would still work, but now, for years and years, it doesn't matter what you do. I've never found a way to make them work again if you try to rename them. You got to stick with that name. And sometimes it's not the name you want. You can't find it again because of the name. Like I saved something yesterday and it says, I saved it from Gmail. I saved a Gmail out off of the. I was using something I emailed to myself, and I was using the links in it, and then I saved it to have it, and it says Gmail so and so so and so so and so instead of so and so so and so so and so. Like I wanted it. So that makes any sense. Now let's see how much I have noticed in some of these sites. They're just really getting crappy. About trying to get your mobile number. I ain't giving my mobile number. I don't have a mobile number for number one. But number two, if I had one, I wouldn't. Either way you want to say it. If I had one, I wouldn't give it to them. Dang sure don't want no spam text from Firefox on my mobile number. Now I have a Google phone number, and I ain't giving that one either. It will take text and stuff. You can text on it and all that. But I'm not giving that to anybody either. I already get too much spam voicemails on it and calls on it now. It used to didn't be bad, but this last year it's gotten really bad. It's an auto, robocallers calling it and everything. And every time I get one that I know that's what it is, if I hear a message, you can just click a button and say report this as spam, and then they'll automatically block it from ever calling you again. So, of course, then there's another new number tomorrow, but from somebody else or from them. But anyway, it's got to where a lot of them just hangs up. I think maybe the robocallers are hanging up when maybe they've figured out a way to sense what kind of phone they've called, and instead of leaving a message, it hangs up. So I don't block them. If I don't know for sure it's a spam or a robocaller, because it might be somebody that I don't want to block, because I use it for, like if somebody, customer type, if a customer was trying to, I don't know who it is that's calling me all the time, it might be a potential customer. So, send Firefox directly to your smartphone? No. Yeah, see, there's no other thing like, you can click on learn more or why should I do this? and didn't, and I wouldn't, and it doesn't tell you that you're signed in, that you're successful or anything. So I'm closing it because I know I am, because I saw my add-ons being installed. And if you didn't know that, you can go here and go to your add-ons, go to Tools, Add-ons, and of course I know for sure it worked because all these add-ons got added in here. Yeah, let's see, Stylus I still use. Let's see, I don't want Nimbus. Let's see. I think the 10i is the one I don't want. I thought I was using, now I don't remember. Well, luckily I saved that page, and so I'll know exactly which. Well, I don't think I want Dr. Web anymore. I don't really need. The more you put on there, the more it slows down your Firefox. So, I'll have to figure out which ones I don't want. Oh, and I need to go into my. They've completely changed everything. I've seen the new one now, and it's really kind of confusing to figure out how to use it. But now I'm going to, before I go on here, actually I've already saved this, so I'll let it take over. Oh, that's the page I need to use to refresh Firefox. That's why I was staying away from it. I'm trying to leave the ones I want to actually use. I'm confused. That's why I keep clicking around. Okay. Preferences. Now, let's go back to sync, I guess. Yeah, there we go. If I like that search. It takes you right to the section you want. Usually it works really well. So yeah, I was scared since I backed up those bookmarks and I don't have a jillion of them, I'm going to go ahead and tell it to sync bookmarks. And history, no. Open tabs, no. Preferences, add-ons, logins. Oh, and you can't do, preferences. I definitely want those. All of the settings that I've done in Firefox, I want to try and keep those. Addresses, that's kind of a yes and a no. I can't think of any addresses that I would have in my browser cache that I would necessarily want. What might be in there is like me mistyping my own address and stuff like that. Let's see. I don't use a whole lot of physical addresses. I believe they're talking about, it won't go up and tell me, like, some of them will come up and explain what they're talking about. That one didn't either. I don't think I need, I'm sure it's not URLs. I think it could be web addresses, but I think it's that you've been to, but that would be history, yeah. History. Yeah, today's history might be good. I do depend on history. It'll only go back. It won't go back but about 3 or 4 or 5 days or something. Yeah, okay, so that I want. So now it will take a while. It can take, especially the bookmarks, it might take a while. And let's see, yeah, there's no button in here to say sync now, I don't think. I don't want to go into like manage account and all that. Yeah, now I'm showing you the email. That's not such a big deal. I mean, I don't like doing that, but I don't want to get into, I can't remember what's in each page, so I'm trying to be careful. I guess I did get back on the desktop, didn't I? Yes, okay, good. Oh, and I don't need that anymore. Oh, yeah, I'll go and show you the stuff that I said I didn't want to show you. So let me click on that, and I'm going to go to Tools, Sync Now. That's what I was getting to. So hopefully, I think it was either still in the process of syncing. Well, of course, I changed things. That's why I'm doing that. It was probably, okay, I was checking my stream, making sure everything's okay. It was probably done syncing that initial one because it wasn't any bookmarks getting synced or anything. But I want to wait and let it, there may be, oh, that could be bad. I didn't want this to be a really long video because I'm tired before I started it. But if I end up getting like jillions of bookmarks in here, I didn't think about that. That could end up being a 2-hour process. What's left, the last time I synced bookmarks was probably actually years ago. And they may have deleted them because they changed the way it works. You know, it used to have a different system. Right now, that's just the way it was. I remember, you know, the last thing was, I didn't really pay much attention, but I know the last thing on the list was YouTube, you know, stuff that I'd saved. And it's not a real long list. If I would open it up and show it to you, and I'm going to close that because it might actually make the Firefox work the system too hard with it open while it's being synced. Yeah, see, look at there, it's jumping up to 10, 11%. It's syncing. Because I've only got those 2 pages that really just have mostly text on them. Yeah, so it's syncing right now. See, that's another thing I use this for. I can kind of tell when there's no output telling you what's going on in an application, like Firefox doesn't tell you I'm syncing now, you know. I don't know a place to see it anyway. And you don't want to move on with your refresh till you're done. You can click on sync now, but nothing ever happens to tell you that it worked or didn't work. When it doesn't work, something goes wrong, it doesn't tell you. That's kind of weird. That they should. I don't remember years ago. I think there might have been a progress bar years ago, or some way to get in there and see, like go to the sync. You used to could go when you click on, you'd go to the sync section and the setup, and everything was in there. And I think there was some way, whether or not it was, I don't think there was like a green progress bar or a blue one or whatever, but there was a way you could tell that it was still syncing. Maybe it did say it like in text or something. But now, some of those things are still over there in Tools, and then the rest is over here in Preferences. And Home, let's see, General, Restore Previous Session. Oh, okay. Default Browser. No, I don't. Now, all these settings that are in here, I think the preferences, syncing your preferences will bring those back. Like you said, you're going to lose your, I do set up my search engines that I like, you know, and stuff. I won't go on the count one because I don't know what it'll show. And you can, I think you can go, yeah, you can get to extensions right there. We're clicking at the bottom down there. And that's pretty much it. So really, all I can see to tell me whether or not that syncing is done is when that quits. Of course, I wasn't paying a lot of attention, but it should go down to no more than 3%, I think. Yeah, these other ones down here, I think that's because I'm making the video, pulse audio, and all that stuff. OBS, of course, it's all. When I'm making a video, well, if anything gets to using more than OBS, then I'm probably not making a video anymore. It's going to overwhelm my system. I have this not too long ago. I ran something that was running. Oh, I think it was VirtualBox, running Windows XP in the VirtualBox, and I was running like 25 to 27% in VirtualBox and the same in OBS, and it did work. That's still only a total of 50% of my CPU. You know, use my 4 cores, but see there, you can see it's not too bad. If you start seeing them getting up 60+%, any of them, then you're starting to. And the memory is 1.6 gigabyte of 3.7 gigabytes, so that's not a big deal. This uses up quite a bit of resources, so I don't ever stay on that. But yeah, just this right here is my favorite way to manage unruly apps or to see what's going on. I just always, unless I'm running a system like a dual core with 2 or 3 gig of RAM, then it can't handle this running along at the same time as your applications very well, so I won't run it. But it's only this one that Mate System Monitor. I think it uses like a whole lot of resources. This one's not bad at all. This is Kde System Monitor. I like a lot of Kde apps. I used to install Mate and Kde both, but then they both put in their background processes, password managers and all other kinds of things. And so now all I do is just install Mate usually. I used to always like to have at least 2. I used to install 3 or more desktops, and because I thought I'd want to try the other or use the other one, try the other ones out or use them. But there is one good thing, like if your desktop gets broken, then you have another one to just open up and fix the system. I got it got to where over the years that more and more your startup stuff was you've gotten duplicate startups and they're both KDE and Mate were both trying to take over the same processes, or you've got like you say I seems like I remember having both of the password managers trying to manage the same application, so I would get double requests for me to type in a password to open something up and all that stuff. And I actually don't use that anymore. I used to kind of put a lot of stuff in those things, and I don't use that much anymore because to me, it's much easier to just, you log in with your regular user, and if anything asks for a password, it's asking for root privileges, and you put in your root password. That's the way I like my system to run. That's why I don't like systems that use sudo like you've been to. I like real domain. It works pretty much like Fedora. If it's asking for a password, you don't got to wonder, well, does it want my root? Does it want my user password? What is it doing? Because I'll just type, and then I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? And okay, see now, I don't even see Firefox up, and I don't even see it in that list of higher users now. So I think it's done. Yeah, see, it's not doing anything hardly noticeable at all now. So hopefully that didn't take too long. But let's see if it added some. I don't know for sure what's in the sync because I haven't used it in years, like I said. I don't see anything that looks new. I don't think it added any bookmarks. If it did, it should have added a lot, I think. So, and since I'm going to clean it out, and since I have my bookmarks backed up, trying to think where it is that I want to go. We'll go over here. So yeah, see, I have. I've got more in my backup drives, but let's see, how far do I have to go back to get? I can kind of tell by the size of it. 174 megabytes. I thought there was one that was pretty big in here. Well, that's from 2018. It's only 35 megabytes. I have one in here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to put it in there. What I do is I open it up. If I know I have some bookmarks, older bookmarks that I need to see, I open it up in Firefox as an HTML web page, and I can do find on this page. It's not very good that way because you can only you either put the exact phrase or one word at a time in there. Whereas in Firefox bookmarks, I can put and I find everything that has the word Firefox and the word sync in it. That just searches all my bookmarks. Refresh. See, there's two that say refresh. So yeah, see, I did already have it in there. The top one, Firefox. I just was typing clean in my search because I remembered it wrong. Okay, so let's make sure it didn't decide to. Sometimes this thing, when you go mess around in it gets down to down below. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Firefox was kind of doing a little something. I think it's because I was searching in the bookmarks. Well, it just does that, But see, still, even though it's coming up, and it's still highlighted because that's the last thing I clicked on, it's still not it's using some RAM, but not too much. It's only 350 megabyte. Now, those other processes, that's not all it's using. Other processes, like if you do search for Firefox, then you can really see this is all the processes that are tied to Firefox. Still not a whole lot, and that's good. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's done syncing now. So now I'm going to clean it. Okay, so I've got my bookmarks backed up. I was thinking that folder was still there. I've synced it and checked and triple checked. Hopefully, since I set it to set the sync to do everything that you think you would want back. Like I said, I said that it went wonky one time when I had lots of bookmarks and it deleted everything. And luckily I had about a 2-month-old HTML backup, so I was able to restore those. But I had actually been saving a lot of bookmarks for the last couple of months that I thought were really interesting, and I wanted to be able to get back to them. So I was so sad and disappointed that I had just I kind of thought about it, but I didn't want to do it right then. Go ahead and do a manual backup. I've never seen an automatic bookmarks backup, like just 2 HTML file like that. I've never seen one since back in the days when there used to be all kinds of bookmarks. You'd back up to a web server somewhere, and I used to use those before Firefox had its own. That's what they're doing. Firefox Sync, it's backing it up to their server. But the thing with those is they use so many and so does Firefox Sync. When you got a lot of bookmarks, it uses too many resources to leave it running all the time. Or it did. But that was when I had thousands of bookmarks. It might be fine now, so I may leave it on and see. But the problem is I've had better luck with backing them up manually whenever I remember than I did with that. I mean, all it takes is one time for you to lose everything for you to go. And it had already been acting wonky, but for a couple of months. But I had been not staying on top of it, and I hadn't lost anything. I guess because I kept backing things up manually. But then when I lost, all my bookmarks, all my settings, I think it was all my bookmarks, but not everything in sync, but all my bookmarks. Anyway, okay, so we're going to go to the button in the troubleshooting page instead of that one up here on this page. Number one reason is because I have seen plenty of times where the buttons on, especially like these buttons on Firefox pages or whatever it might be, and they might either just not work right, period, or they don't work right because of my AdBlock Plus or something. Lots of times things won't work right. Most of the time in the last couple of years when things don't work right, first thing I think is AdBlock, and it's not that. And that's what everybody tells you, when you read for help and stuff. It turns out not to be AdBlock. It turns out to be some odd, usually it's something on YouTube pages that don't work because YouTube didn't write it to work with Firefox. They wrote the code on their page to work with Chrome. They want everybody to use Chrome. It's kind of like the old days when everything worked in Internet Explorer and everybody wrote for Internet Explorer but not for the other browsers. They hadn't heard of cross-browser compatibility, or they didn't care about it. So anyway, and once in a while you run across stuff like that still. I bought a security camera a week or two ago, and it said in there, it didn't say it on the page where I bought it, it said it in their manual. That I didn't ever find their manual before I bought it. I did kind of look around, but I guess not hard enough. Anyway, it was on their website once I found out what their website was. And it said, use Internet Explorer. And I was like, Microsoft doesn't even use Internet Explorer anymore. They have, and it's called Edge. I couldn't remember at the time, but Edge browser. But anyway, restart. You can if you're just trying to troubleshoot, you can restart with add-ons disabled. A lot of times, if you do have some funky problems in Firefox, it will be your add-ons. So, and I used to run about twice as many as I do now, and it just makes them. It slows down your browser, your machine, and everything. Your browsing, your web browsing, and I've got 200 megabits down and 10 up. 10 up's not great, but it's the best I've had ever. But I don't think it's great. It's definitely not enough to make your 200 megabits down perform as it could, because it's always a two-way street. But but it's plenty fast. I mean, it downloads things really fast. So anyway, okay. So I've got my backups. I just want to make sure I'm not screwing up. Okay, yeah. This I won't do. I won't set this up to run. I call it standalone mode. It's kind of like running an app in portable mode, but it's not portable. You couldn't just take it on a USB stick and plug it into the machine and have it work, because it depends on the Mozilla Firefox profiles that are on this machine for it to work right, to have all the bookmarks and everything. So, and we'll see that here in a little bit. Okay, so before I go on, I want to make sure I am broadcasting here. Okay. Yes. Yes, I am. Okay. So, how many times did you think I was going to click this? uh, and I didn't. I know. I kept getting I get a little leery when I think, okay, did I do everything right? Refresh Firefox. I did it. Start refresh to fix problems and restore performance. This will remove your add-ons and customizations, restore your browser settings to their defaults. And, oh yeah, and it'll come back up and all that stuff. And it does clean. I've read that on the site before in more detailed descriptions of it. It does clean up, like I said, all the old Java code and junk. Oh, wait, if you don't click, it does it on its own. I was sitting there I was going to read that out loud, and all of a sudden it went to the next thing. Oh, it did put it on the desktop. Old Firefox data. I'm going to put that in my backup drive is what I'm going to do. Or just put it in my Firefox folder. And I'll put it in the folder with the new Firefox, I think, and then let it automatically get backed up. Whenever my machine backs up. There we go, success. Let's see, restore all windows and tabs. Restore only those ones you want. I think I will go with, well, let's make it, I don't like it being not full screen. There it is, success. It's not going to be... Okay, so that I don't really need. It made my. I don't like those being there all the time. They just take up space and page have to page up and down that much more. But they mostly they distract my eyes. But I use this all the time. These are bookmarks that I want to have up there. What happened? It didn't go away. Oh, there we go. I guess this top one I checked it. I guess menu bar wasn't there. I don't know. This I have to have. Yeah, and see, I put that, I don't use that stupid pocket thing. That there could be useful, but I really never remember it's there. Yeah, none of my add-on things, of course, they're all gone. Yeah, let's leave those instructions in case I need to remember what it is I need to do. Now this, I'm thinking, I saved it, the actual page. I think I already went by it, didn't it? Yeah. I saved the actual page. I didn't go into all that. There's so much there. Oh, that's about support. This is not the same page, I don't think, or is it? You can do a lot with this page here. No, that is that page. And version 6604. Okay, see, all I'm doing is refreshing. I was like, oh, I was thinking I was going to have the new version, but that's not what I was doing. Okay, so, yeah, I believe I will set up my settings and things the way I want them before I turn on the new version. Okay, and get rid of the things I don't want, the add-ons and stuff. I just didn't think I'm missing the extensions. Oh, they're not there. There's a section for extensions. There's not any. Right. Okay, so I don't need that page. It's not going to help me now. I'll have to open it. Oh, see, it did a new update to Media Extractor there. I guess when it restarted Firefox, it probably was already installed. I'm sure it was, and then it just finished installing. Some add-ons don't finish installing till you Yeah, what does it do? I may have to look at all that and see. So, bookmarks, passwords. Let's go look at the bookmarks first and see if they've changed. Oh, okay. I was expecting to say, where's all my bookmarks? They look the same, so I didn't lose bookmarks. I think a long time ago you did. I still think that you do. Oh, we got to know, what's this? Oh, AdBlock Plus, yeah. So it was updated. Oh, they're doing it as faster than I can bookmark them now. So they must have all been. Oh, my sync is doing this. Right. Of course. Why did I set up sync? To do this for me. now all I have to do, I was sitting there thinking I'm going to have to manually, I'm sitting there telling, well, I'm using sync so I won't have to do this, and then I try, well, I guess I don't know what I said. Anyway, now I remember. Yeah, sync is installing all my add-ons. It wasn't what I, like that one media extractor. I don't know why I did it twice. But so anyway, some add-ons don't install until you restart Firefox. But yeah, these are all my add-ons that, of course, when I did the sync, I got a couple old ones that I didn't want anymore. But, oh, and they're all over there. They're just not where I want them on the bar here. Yeah, I don't want that screenshot thing anymore. I don't think, I'll check this one out and see if it has features that I've forgotten about, but I don't think I want it. Is there a link there? If there was a regular link, I'd use it to see. Is there one here? Here's one. So let's say, oh, your profile folder. Now that's where you might have to go to find things that are broken sometimes. Not really about what we're doing right now, but so yeah, there it is. Scan with Dr. Webb. So let's see. I right-clicked, went down there, and then I just let go is what it did. I don't see it doing anything. Thing is that I think that's really a link to your local machine. It seemed like it didn't work. Let's see now. Scan, and I see BT for browsers, virus total for browsers. It'll do scan selected link. Now it'll tell you what's going on. Goes here and opens up a new. Shows exactly what's going on. What I'm wondering is that a link on their site, or is that actually a link back to your machine, you know? No engines detected this URL. I think it's a link back to my machine, but it didn't show any malware. So let's say open link in a new tab, open link in a private window. Let's just say new tab. Let's see if it is able to do that. No, it's just more instructions. Okay. Okay, so it's just another page on their site. Now, this, a bunch of extra stuff. Where's the customize? Get to where I need a break. I may end up having to break this video up in two. I think I'm going to have to, because I still have to do the, I'll do this in setup of Firefox standalone in a separate video because I need a break really bad. Matter of fact, I need it so bad I can't think straight. So I'll come back in a minute, in a little bit, after I have a break. I'll finish putting those where I want them. Of course, some of them I'm going to uninstall. And then I will not install, I will set up Firefox 70 to run in, I call it standalone version. So I'll be back in a little bit.